Hi everyone, welcome to our presentation Focusing for Interaction Design and Introspective Somatic Method. I am Claudia Núñez-Pacheco from the Division of Media Technology and Interaction Design at KTH, Sweden. This paper was also co-authored by Lian and Loke from the Design Lab at the University of Sydney, Australia. In this paper, we have thoroughly described two case studies demonstrating the use of the focusing method, but for this presentation, I will concentrate on explaining what is focusing and how to apply the protocol. Focusing is a psychosomatic method that uses inward bodily focus to access nuanced meaning around a particular situation. The method was created by the Austrian-American philosopher Eugen Gendling, and here I have a little story. When Gendling was a kid, he and his family moved from Austria to the United States, escaping from the Nazi regime. As the 12-year-old could not speak English, he was allocated to a class with younger kids. One day, the teacher noted how Eugene was repeating to himself the German word Sessel before translating it into the English term chair. She asked him not to translate, but instead perceive the object as being a chair from the beginning. This particular story was later referred to by Gendling as the beginnings of his interest in the connections between body, language, and meaning. The focusing method is relevant for design, as we need to expand our somatic vocabulary to understand and design for aesthetic, meaningful, multisensory experiences. Here, I present you a few facts about focusing. So first, it derives from phenomenology and has influenced other methods such as microphenomenology, for example. It facilitates an inner dialogue directed by our bodily sensing. The premise is clear: feel first and think second. Focusing also functions as a one-to-one dialogue, or it is facilitated as a collective experience involving evoking a situation, which is the modality I will describe in this presentation. It aims to find the felt sense as a revelation, and here it is important to say that felt senses are not the same as emotions. Emotions can be labeled directly through specific words encapsulating their meaning. Felt senses are pre-linguistic, strange and imprecise, and appear when you pay close attention to what you really feel. Felt senses manifest as metaphorical language, escaping from common conventional ways of expressing ideas and emotions. If we situate focusing within the toolkit of methods used in somatic-oriented design, such as the ones that you can see here, this belongs to those that focus on the corporeal dimension from a contemplative rather than a more active stance. Here, we have some examples of methods that belong to those different dimensions. The ones that I have called introspective tend to approach the body from a contemplative stance, bringing retrospective experience to the present moment for awareness and examination. On the other hand, movement-based methods are grounded in reflection in action, concentrating on the present moment. To conduct a focusing session, you first need a facilitator who will help participants or designers follow the instructions I am about to describe. Then, it's important to have a topic in mind, a design brief or a concept. In one of the case studies we described in the paper, we conducted focusing as an ideation method for designing better workplaces. In this case, we first ask participants to evoke a meaningful experience related to their workplaces to then explore the sense of meaningfulness through focusing to inspire new ideas. In the paper, we also discuss more specifically which kinds of topics are suitable for this method, but in general terms, we use focusing to bring out aesthetic and somatic qualities about the situation to inspire design. Next, I will proceed to list the steps. First, we start the session with a body scan. Body scanning consists of a set of guided suggestions to start becoming aware of our different body parts, slowly and mindfully. So first, we make sure to ask our participants to sit comfortably and close their eyes. We ask them to take a deep breath every certain time, and also we ask them to feel gravity, temperature, weight, balance, etc. The second step is felt sensing, or bodily connecting with the strange wholeness of the situation explored. This step refers to sensations generated by, for example, something meaningful related to the topic of exploration. We are not naming or labeling what we feel. Instead, we keep our sensations strange, making sure to pay attention to how our body is feeling those sensations. In this third step, the handle, we give a label to our felt sense. We ask our participants to find a word, a phrase, a metaphor, an image, a gesture, or any type of representation that could somehow match the wholeness and impreciseness of the sensations from the previous step. When we resonate, we ask our participants to, as soon as they have a word, a phrase, or a metaphor, to verify if that makes sense with their bodies. Otherwise, to keep searching for something different. Here, we are asking them to establish a generative dialogue between their label, word or metaphor, etc., and their bodily feelings. Finally, we invite our participants to welcome or acknowledge and stay with the sensations for a moment, even if it was not possible to find a handle. And then we close the exercise, and it's essential here to do it gently, allowing participants to slowly bring the awareness back to their surroundings. Here, we offer some time to note down impressions and evocations from the session. Sometimes, in this process of writing and completing body maps, felt senses crystallize. This stage of silence and self-reflection is helpful for both the participant and as a data collection method. In the studies presented in the paper, we collected anonymous data allowing participants to open up. As a result, you get rich narratives full of details about situations and corporeal experience. To conclude this presentation, I describe some of the uses of focusing presented in the paper. These uses are grounded in the principle of feeling first and thinking second, promoting corporeal engagement. First, as a data collection method, capturing the impressions of participants around a given topic. Then, as an ideation technique for grounding our deep motivations. And finally, as a direct inspiration for design, such as in the case of Soul, an art installation created from some of the descriptions generated by our participants. Thanks very much for listening.